हरे कृष्णा। चैतन्य चरितामृत मध्य लीला चैप्टर 6 द लिबरेशन ऑफ सर्वभौमा भट्टाचार्य। हाँ, सभी सुनने वाले भाई बहनों को, गोपियों को, वैष्णवियों को और सभी भगवत भक्तवृंद, भगवत प्रेमी अनुभावों को सर्ववंद्य देवी दासी माता जी का दंडवत प्रणाम स्वीकार करें जी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितेन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमः आचार्यपादाय नित्याय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथा दामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। वासुदेवा परा वेद, वासुदेवा परा मुख, वासुदेवा परा योग, वासुदेवा परा क्रिया, वासुदेवा परम ज्ञान, वासुदेवा परा तपा, वासुदेवा परो धर्म, वासुदेवा परा गति। वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानंदं कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरु। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। कृष्णे स्वधामोपगति धर्मज्ञानादि विसः कलो नष्टो दृश्यामेष पुराणार्को उदिनोदिता। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेष नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकीम्। हरे कृष्णा। Text 1. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Gaurachandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who converted the her their Hardayatad Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the reservoir of all bad logic, into a great devotee. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glory to all devotees of Lord Chaitanya. In ecstasy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went from Atharnala to the temple of Jagannatha. After seeing Lord Jagannatha, he became very restless due to love of Godhead. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to swiftly to embrace Lord Jagannatha, but when he entered the temple, he was so overwhelmed with love of Godhead that he fainted to the floor. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell down, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya happened to see him. When the watchman threatened to beat the Lord, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya immediately forbade him. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very surprised to see the personal beauty of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as well as the transcendental transformation wrought on his body due to love of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained unconscious for a long time. Meanwhile, the time for offering prasadam to Lord Jagannatha came, and Bhattacharya tried to think of a remedy. While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was conscious, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, with the help of the watchman and some disciples, carried him to his home and laid him down in a very sanctified room. Examining the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma saw that his abdomen was not moving and that he was not breathing. Seeing his condition, the Bhattacharya became very anxious. The Bhattacharya then took a fine cotton swab and put it before the Lord's nostril. When he saw the cotton move very slightly, he became hopeful. Sitting beside Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he thought this is a transcendental ecstatic transformation brought about by love of Krishna. Upon seeing the sign of Sudipta Satvika, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya could immediately understand the transcendental ecstatic transformation in the body of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such a sign takes place only in the bodies of eternally liberated devotees. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya considered the uncommon ecstasy symptoms of Adhiruddha Bhava are appearing in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is very wonderful. How are the possible in the body of a human being? While the Bhattacharya was thinking in this way, at his home, all the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by Nityananda Prabhu, approached the Simbadwara, the entrance door of the temple. There, the devotee heard the people talking about a mendicant who had come to Jagannatha Puri and seen the deity of Jagannatha. The people said the sannyasi had fallen unconscious upon seeing the deity of Lord Jagannatha because his consciousness did not return. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had taken him to his home. Hearing this, the devotee could understand that they were speaking of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just then, Sri Gopinatha Acharya arrived. Gopinatha Acharya was a resident of Nadia, the son-in-law of Visarada and the devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He knew the true identity of his lordship. Gopinatha Acharya had previously been acquainted with Mukunda Datta, and when the Acharya saw him at Jagannatha Puri, he was very much astonished. Mukunda Datta offered obeisances unto Gopinatha Acharya upon meeting him. Then the Acharya embraced Mukunda Datta and inquired about news of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mukunda Datta replied, "The Lord has already arrived here. We have come with him." As soon as Gopinatha Acharya saw Nityananda Prabhu, he offered his obeisances unto him. In this way, meeting all the devotees, he asked about news of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again and again. Mukunda Datta continued, "After accepting the sannyasa order, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to Jagannatha Puri and has brought all of us with him. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left our company and walked ahead to see Lord Jagannatha. We have just arrived and are now looking for him." From the talk of the people in general, we have guessed that the Lord is now at the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Upon seeing Lord Jagannatha, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became ecstatic and fell unconscious, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has taken him to his home in this condition. Just as I was thinking of meeting you by chance, we have actually met. First, let us all go to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later we shall come to see Lord Jagannatha. Hearing this and feeling very pleased, Gopinatha Acharya immediately took all the devotees with him and approached the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Arriving at the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, everyone saw the Lord lying unconscious. Seeing him in this condition, Gopinatha Acharya became very unhappy, but at the same time he was happy just to see the Lord. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya permitted all the devotees to enter his house, and upon seeing Nityananda Prabhu, the Bhattacharya offered him obeisances. Sarvabhauma met with all the devotees and offered them a proper welcome. They were all pleased to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Bhattacharya then sent them all back to see Lord Jagannatha, and he asked his own son Chandneswara to accompany them as a guide. Everyone was then very pleased to see the deity of Lord Jagannatha. Lord Nityananda in particular was overwhelmed with ecstasy. When Lord Nityananda Prabhu nearly fainted, all the devotees caught him and steadied him at that time. The priest of Lord Jagannatha brought a garland that had been offered to the deity and offered it to Nityananda Prabhu. Everyone was pleased to receive this garland worn by Lord Jagannatha. Afterwards, they all returned to the place where Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was staying. All the devotees then began to loudly chant the Hare Krishna Maha mantra. Just before noon, the Lord regained his consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and very loudly chanted Hari Hari. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very pleased to see the Lord regain consciousness, and he took the just of the Lord's lotus feet. The Bhattacharya informed all the them, please take your midi baths immediately. Today I shall offer you Mahaprasadam, the remnants of food offered to Lord Jagannatha. After bathing in the sea, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotees returned very soon. The Lord then washed his feet and sat down on a carpet to take lunch. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya made arrangements to bring various kinds of Mahaprasadam from the Jagannatha temple. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then accepted lunch with great happiness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was offered special rice and first class vegetable on golden plates. He thus took lunch in the company of his devotees. While Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya personally distributed the prasadam, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested him, please give me only boiled vegetable. You can offer the cakes and preparation made with condensed milk to all the devotees. Hearing this, the Bhattacharya folded his hand and spoke as follows. Today, all of you, please try to taste the lunch just as Lord Jagannatha accepted it. After saying this, he made them all eat the various cake and conditioned milk preparation. After feeding them, he offered them water to wash their hands, feet, and mouths. Eh, Beginning permission from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his devotee Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then went with Gopinatha Acharya to take lunch. After finishing their lunch, they returned to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Offering his obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, Namo Narayanaha, I offer my obeisances to Narayana. Hearing these words, Sarvabhauma understood Lord Chaitanya to be Vaishnava sannyasi. Sarvabhauma then said to Gopinatha Acharya, I want to know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's previous situation. Gopinatha Acharya replied, there was a man named Jagannatha who was resident of Navadvipa and whose surname was Misra Purandara. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the son of that Jagannath Misra, and his former name was Vishwambara Misra. He also happens to be the grandson of Nilambara Chakravati. The Bhattacharya said Nilambara Chakravati was classmate of my father, Maheshwara Visarda. I knew him as such. Jagannatha Misra Purandara was respected by my father. Thus, because of their relationship with my father, I respect both Jagannatha Misra and Nilambara Chakravarti. Hearing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu belonged to the Nadia district, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became very pleased and addressed the Lord as follows. You are naturally respectable, besides you are sannyasi, thus I wish to become your personal servant. As soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this from the Bhattacharya, he immediately remembered Lord Vishnu and began to speak humbly to him as follows. Because you are a teacher of Vedanta philosophy, you are the master of all the people in the world and their well-wisher as well. You are also the benefactor of all kinds of sannyasis. I am a young sannyasi and I actually have no knowledge of what is good and what is bad. Therefore, I am taking shelter of you and accepting you as my spiritual master. I have come here only to associate with you, and I came now taking shelter of you. Will you kindly maintain me in all respect? The incident, the happiness today was a great obstacle for me, but you have kindly relieved me of it. The Bhattacharya replied, do not go alone to see the deity at the Jagannatha temple. It is better that you go with me or my men. The Lord said, I shall never enter the temple, but shall always view the Lord from the side of the Garuda Stambha. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then told Gopinatha Acharya, take Goswami ji and saw him Lord Jagannatha. Also, he apartment belonging to my maternal aunt is in a very solitary place. Make all arrangements for him to stay there. Thus Gopinatha Acharya took Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his residential quarters and showed him where to find water tubes and water pots. Indeed, he arranged everything. The next day, Gopinatha Acharya took Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to see the early residing of Lord Jagannatha. Gopinatha Acharya then took Mukunda Datta with him and went to Sarvabhauma house. When they arrived, Sarvabhauma addressed Mukunda Datta as follows. The sannyasi is very meek and humble by nature, and his person is very beautiful to see. Consequently, my affection for him increases, from which sampradaya has he accepted the sannyasa order, and what is his name? Gopinatha Acharya replied, the Lord name is Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and his sannyasa preceptor is the greatly fortunate Kesava Bharti. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, Sri Krishna is a very good name, but he belonged to the Bharti community. Therefore, he is a second-class sannyasi. Gopinath Acharya replied, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not rely on any external formality. There is no need for him to accept the sannyasa order from a superior sampradaya. The Bhattacharya inquired, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in his full flagged youthful life. How can he keep the principles of sannyasa? I shall continually recite Vedanta philosophy before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so that he may remain fixed in his renunciation and thus enter upon the path of monism. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya then suggested if Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would like, could bring him into a first-class sampradaya by offering him saffron clothes and performing the reformatory process again. Gopinatha Acharya and Mukunda Datta became very unhappy when they heard this. Gopinatha Acharya therefore addressed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya as follows. My dear Bhattacharya, you do not know the greatness of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are found in his to the highest degree. Gopinath Acharya continue. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is celebrated as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are ignorant in this connection find the conclusion of knowledgeable men very difficult to understand. The disciples of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya related by what evidence do you conclude that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord? The disciple of the Bhattacharya said, we derive knowledge of the absolute truth by logical hypothesis. Gopinatha Acharya continue, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead only by His mercy, not by guesswork of hypothesis. The Acharya continue, if one receives but a teeny bit of the Lord's favor by dint of devotional service, he can understand the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate in order to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. Gopinath Acharya then addressed Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You are a great scholar and a teacher of many disciples. Indeed, there is no other scholar like you on earth. Nonetheless, because you are bereft of even a pinch of the Lord's mercy, you cannot understand Him even though He is present in your home. It is not your fault. It is the verdict of the scriptures. You cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by scholarship. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, my dear Gopinath Acharya, please speak with great care. With is the proof that you have received the mercy of the Lord. Gopinath Acharya replied, knowledge of the summum bonum, the absolute truth, is evidence of the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Gopinatha Acharya continued, you have seen the symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during his absorption in an ecstatic mood, despite directly perceiving the symptoms of the Supreme Lord in the body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You cannot understand Him. This is commonly called illusion. A person influenced by the external energy called Bahirmukha Jana in mundane person, because despite his perception he he cannot understand the real substance. Hearing Gopinatha Acharya say this, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya smiled and began to speak as follows. The Bhattacharya said, "We are just having a discussing among friends and considering the points described in the scriptures. Do not become angry. I am simply speaking on the strength of the stars. Please don't take any offense." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is certainly a great uncommon devotee, but we cannot accept him as in incarnation of Lord Vishnu, because according to Shastra there is no incarnation in this age of Kali. Another name for Lord Vishnu is Triyuga, because there is no incarnation of Lord Vishnu in Kali Yuga. Indeed, this is the verdict of the revealed scriptures. Upon hearing this, Gopinatha Acharya became very unhappy. He said to the Bhattacharya, "You consider yourself the known of all Vedic scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam and the Mahabharata are the two most important Vedic scriptures, but you have paid no attention to their statement." Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahabharata, it is stated that the Lord appears directly, but you say that in this age there is no manifestation or incarnation of Lord Vishnu. In this age of Kali, there is no Leela Avatara of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is known as Tiriyuga, that is known of his holy names. Gopinatha Acharya continued, "There is certainly an incarnation in every age, and such incarnation is called the Yuga Avatara. But your heart has become so hardened by logic and argument that you cannot consider all these facts. In the past, your son had bodies of 3 different colors. According to the age, these colors were white, red, and yellow. In this age, Dwapara Yuga, he has accepted a blackish body. In the age of Kali, as well as in Dwapara Yuga, the people offer praise to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by various mantras and observe the regulative principle of the supplementary Vedic literature. Now please hear of this from me. In this age of Kali, those who are intelligent perform the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears in this age always describing the glory of Krishna. The incarnation is yellowish in hue and is always associated with his plenary expansion, such as Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and personal expansion such as Gadadhara, as well as his devotee and associates such as Swarupa Damodara. The Lord in the incarnation of Gaurasundara has a golden complexion. Indeed, his entire body, which is very nicely instituted, is like molten gold. Sandalwood pulp is immersed all over his body. He will take the fourth order of spiritual life, sannyasa, and will be very much self-controlled. He will be distinguished from Mayavadi sannyasis in that he will be fixed in devotional service and will spread the Sankirtana movement. Gopinatha Acharya then said, there is no need to quite too much evidence from the Shastra, for you are a very dry speculator. There is no need to sow seeds in barren land. When the Lord will be pleased with you, you will also understand these conclusions and will quite from the Shastra the false arguments and philosophical word jugglery of your disciples are not faults of theirs. They have simply received the benediction of Mayavadi philosophy. I offer my respectful obeisances and unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full of unlimited quality and whose different potencies bring about agreement and disagreement between disputants. Thus the illusory energy again and again covers the self-realization of both disputant. In almost all cases, whatever learned Brahmana speak become accepted. Nothing is impossible for in who takes shelter of my illusory energy and speak under her influence. After hearing this from Gopinatha Acharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, first go to the place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is staying and invite him here with his associates. Ask him on my account. Take Jagannatha Prasadam and first give it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. After that, come back here and touch me well. Kshamyatam. Here and teach me well. Come back here and teach me well. Kshamyatam. Correct. Gopinath Acharya was the brother-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Therefore, their relationship was very sweet and intimate under the circumstances. Gopinatha Acharya taught him by sometimes blaspheming, sometimes praising him, and sometimes laughing at him. This had been going on for some time. Srila Mukunda Datta felt very satisfied to hear the conclusive statements of Gopinatha Acharya, but he became very unhappy and angry to hear the statement put forward by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. According to the instructions of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Gopinatha Acharya went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and invite him on the Bhattacharya behalf. The Bhattacharya statement were discussed before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopinatha Acharya and Mukunda Datta disapproved of the Bhattacharya's statement because they cause mental pain. Hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Do not speak like that. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has shown great affection and mercy towards me. Out of paternal affection for me, he wants to protect me and see that I follow the regulative principle of a sannyasi. What fault is there in this?" The next morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya together visited the temple of Lord Jagannatha. Both of them were in a very pleasant mood. When they entered the temple, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya offered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a seat while he himself sat down on the floor out of due respect for a sannyasi. He then began to instruct Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on Vedanta philosophy, and out of affection and devotion, he spoke to the Lord as follows. The Bhattacharya said, "Hearing Vedanta philosophy is a sannyasi's main business. Therefore, without hesitation, you should study Vedanta philosophy. Hearing it without cessation from a superior person. Hearing it without cessation from a superior person." Lord Chaitanya replied, "You are very merciful to me, and therefore I think it is my duty to obey your order." Thus for 7 days, continually Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened to the Vedanta philosophy expounded by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. However, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not say anything and did not indicate whatever it was right or wrong. He simply sat there and listened to the Bhattacharya. On the eighth day, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "You have been listening to Vedanta philosophy from me continually for 7 days. You have simply been listening fixed in your silence. Since you do not say whether you think it is right or wrong, I cannot know whether you are actually understanding Vedanta philosophy or not." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "I am a fool, and consequently I do not study the Vedanta Sutra. I am just trying to hear it from you because you have ordered me." Only for the sake of executing the duties of the renounced order of sannyasa do I listen. Unfortunately, I cannot in the least understand the meaning you are presenting. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, I accept that you do not understand. Yet, even one who does not understand inquires about the subject matter. You are hearing again and again, yet you keep silent. I cannot understand what is actually within your mind. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then revealed his mind, saying, I can understand the meaning of each sutra very clearly, but your explanation have simply agitated my mind. The meaning of the aphorism in the Vedanta Sutra contain clear purports in themselves, but other purports you presented simply covered the meaning of the sutra like a cloud. You do not explain the direct meaning of the Brahma Sutra. Indeed, it appears that your business is to cover their real meaning. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, the Vedanta Sutra is the summary of all the Upanishads. Therefore, whatever direct meaning is there is the Upanishad is also recorded in the Vedanta Sutra or Vyasa Sutra. For each sutra, the direct meaning must be accepted without interpretation. However, you simply abandon the direct meaning and proceed with your imaginative interpretation. Although there is other evidence, the evidence given in the Vedic version must be taken as foremost Vedic versions. Understood directly are first class evidence. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continue. Conch shells and cow dung are nothing but the bones and the stool of some living entity. But according to the Vedic version, they are both considered very pure. The Vedic statements are self-evidence. Whatever is stated there must be accepted if we interpret according to our own imagination. The authority of the Vedas is immediately lost. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continue the Brahma Sutra complete by Srila Vyasadeva is as radiant as the sun. One who tries to interpret its meaning simply covers that sunshine with a cloud. All the Vedas and literature that strictly follow the Vedic principles. Example that the Supreme Brahman in the Absolute Truth, the greatest of all and the future of the Supreme Lord. Actually, the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Full with all opulences, you are trying to explain Him as impersonal and formless. Hare Krishna. I will stop here my talks. Actually, the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full with all opulences. You are trying to explain Him as impersonal and formless. I will